troops, without the equipment, without oil. He who controls the oil is going to win the next war. That's why, D, my friend, Saudi Arabia is the key player in all of this. Now, say U.S. was to go to war against Syria, against Iran, against Iraq. They're already at war with Iraq. Against any predominant Muslim nation. In the history, Saudi Arabia, when we went to the Persian Gulf War, Saudi Arabia backed the U.S. and went to war with Iraq. The key reason I say Saudi Arabia is a wild card, just what if U.S. went to war with Iraq? U.S. starts, well, say Iran. Iran's more likely target right now, right? U.S. starts bombing the fuck out of Iraq. And Saudi Arabia sees this. It's kind of like Darth Vader seeing his son Luke getting electrocuted by the Emperor. And suddenly, Darth Vader has a change of heart and kills the Emperor. I think Saudi Arabia just might do that. They might just turn their back on the U.S. or any other country if they see their Muslim brothers getting slaughtered like that. ISIS could be that. You see where I'm reaching at?
I see.
That's why Saudi Arabia is such a key player on the geopolitical landscape. And the House of Saud, those rulers in there, they're very fickle. Very fickle. Anything can change their mind on any given day. You saw it back in 1978-79 when we had that oil shortage. U.S. wasn't playing ball with Saudi Arabia back then. Saudi Arabia's like, all right, fuck you. You ain't getting no oil from us. What happened? Lines a mile long at the gas station. U.S. got scared shitless when we saw that. Now, that's the only reason you see U.S. kissing ass in Saudi Arabia. You see the Bushes holding hands with these, leaders of Saudi Arabia and whatnot for good reason. U.S., they can't stand Saudi Arabia, but they're not going to say that to their face. They're going to kiss their ass. Because they know what a key player the House of Saud is in all of this. That's why it's so important if we were to go to war. Now, I have to say, D, ISIS-backed terrorism, fucked up. Totally fucked up. What happened in France, and, like you and I discussed, what happened in Nigeria? No one's talking about that shit. There was a bomb attack. Was it a bomb attack or like a grenade or a shooting that killed like 11 people?
I think it was a bomb.
Where's the love for Nigeria? Where's the support for Nigeria? It happened to France. Everyone's got all their panties twisted. Oh, France, France, France. What about Nigeria?
That's what they're getting out. And these guys in Nigeria who's terrorizing these innocent people, they're getting all their, I heard they're getting all their money and guns from the ISIS.
Yeah. And that's fucked up. That is truly fucked. You know?
Yeah. They're being financed by ISIS.
You know? No one cares about Africa. No one cares about black folks, minorities, and whatnot. But when you kill a white dude, everyone gets upset.
Well, you let ISIS, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something right now. I think ISIS has actually, they have actually scratched on the wrong door. You know, that Russian doorman is different. Those guys, you know, and Putin put it like this yesterday. He said, we're going after them. And he didn't look too like he was going to follow any kind of rules. I mean, this guy's like, we going KGB.
Yeah. Just going in hard, man.
Yeah, we're going to get him.
Shoot
yeah,
first.
We're going to get him.
Shoot first, ask question later.
Yeah. he went into, the blame game. He said, we all know who helped, who made ISIS. He said he blamed the United States for creating ISIS.
Yeah. Sad but true. Sad but true.
He blamed the Bushes. Both Bushes.
Well, three of them. Three of them.
Plus, he blamed not just the Bushes, but he blamed quite a few people. Like Great Britain's Blair.
Prime Minister, yeah. Former Prime Minister Tony Blair.
Yeah. He said they should be in jail right now. Both of the Bushes and him.
Yeah. I hear you, man. I hear you.
They created this monster.
Because going into, first of all, 9/11, right? That's a monster in itself that was created. And then going into Iraq for no reason whatsoever. You're just opening the door for terror groups to come in and form and train and attack you.
Hey.
And, let's not forget Syria. Syria was overthrown. The former president or whatever he was, former president of Syria, he was overthrown, right? Through a rebellion. This was like a couple of years ago when the whole Syria thing was happening. And when you have no government, who takes over? The rebels take over. If there's any rebellion to start with, right? Now, when you see stuff like this, you just can't help but think, you know what, I've seen this somewhere before. I've seen this before. I've seen this movie before. Tell me that rebellion to overthrow the Syrian government didn't have the fingerprints of one particular alphabet agency. And then, who reigns supreme in Syria right now? ISIS. Now, you're going to tell me ISIS is so well funded by rogue donors of the Middle East? Now, you can understand why I'm, skeptical, right, D? We know our government's history, Our own government, the CIA, backed and funded the crack epidemic in America so that they could fund rebel Contras in Central America.
Exactly.
That's why I'm so skeptical of ISIS, of Syria being suddenly overthrown. All of a sudden being overthrown.
Yeah, man. Me too, man. It's like something don't sound right here.
And now we have ISIS attacking France, attacking Nigeria. You know what? I say same thing's happening to ISIS that happened to Al Qaeda with the CIA. CIA created a monster, and now they can't control the monster. They'll fund it, but they can't control it.
Yeah, well, they want it. They want the monster. They want the monster.
That could be true. That could be true.
They want the monster so they can go to war.
That could be true. Yeah, that's a good point. They'll continue funding ISIS as long as the monster, does what it says. Hey, we need you to stage these attacks. We need you to do this. We need you to do that. All in the name of terrorism. Let the Muslims be blamed. Let the Muslims get all the heat. But we need you to stage these attacks so they can be staging grounds for the next phase in the geopolitical chessboard. It's just little pawns. ISIS is a pawn. Al Qaeda was a pawn. Bin Laden was a pawn. 9/11 was a pawn. Iraq was a pawn.
Yeah.
Afghanistan, Taliban, they're all pawns. Vietnam was a pawn. We are all pawns in this game of life that the big governments are using and making moves with us. Russia's doing it. China's doing it. Oh, I can't wait till China gets heated up, man. You want to talk about a real enemy? Wait till China gets heated. and U.S. does something to piss off China.
Well, I wonder where China going to play into this.
Man, I think we talked about this. China is chilling because it's got the U.S. in its back pocket, right? U.S. owes what? $30 billion? I mean, not even $30 billion. That's little. That's chump change. They owe a lot of money. I want to say $3 trillion to China.
I think so.
And China's just sitting back there relaxing. They're chilling because they know one day, you know, just how like bill collectors, they come at you. Where's my money? Where's my money? Where's my money? Where's my money? Oh, you don't have any money? That's why I'm gonna take your car. You know, China's just waiting. It's got that ace of spades in its hand. China's just waiting to use it on someone, be it the U.S., be it Russia, whatnot. They're just waiting to use that ace of spades. Boom. How you like that?
Well, you know, China's creating all these islands. What's up with that?
Don't be surprised. Next year or two, China's just going to go after Japan. After Japan, after South Korea.
Yeah, and call it theirs.
Well, that's the history. That's the history. Because Japan and even North and South Korea, by history, this is thousands of years back, that was rightfully China's. They just separated.
Yeah.
Through war, through whatnot, they just separated and became their own.
Independent. They got the independence.
Right. But North Korea, South Korea, Japan, even the smaller ones, Vietnam, Philippines, those were all territories of China. The dynasties back in the day. Even Mongolia was part of China at one point.
Yeah, man. Fu Manchu.
Yeah. And, there's a lot of animosity between Japan and China. A lot of history, a lot of brutal history.
A lot of history, yeah.
A lot of bloodshed, a lot of despicable stuff that went on between the two countries. And, they keep fighting over these little islands that you referred to. There's going to be a blow-up. There's going to be a blow-up, and China will be like, that's it, I've had enough. I'm taking my property back.
Well, China is actually making islands.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can.
They're building islands.
I mean, this isn't new technology. They've been doing this in the Middle East and other places for years. Making land. Because, like Lex Luthor famously said, there's not going to be any more land, right? Get all the real estate you can right now, But, if you go to Dubai, you go to, Saudi Arabia, they're making land. They're dumping all this dirt, rock, sand into the water. They're making these islands in the Middle East. And now China's doing it in the, Red China Sea and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what they're doing with those, right? We talked about this. The staging grounds, they're expertly positioned for attacks right into Japan.
Yeah, military movement.
Yeah, just another pawn on the chessboard. All right, here's my move. What do you got, D?
Yeah.
And Japan's like, okay, I see what you're doing. But see, Japan has they have the backing of the U.S. And see, that puts U.S. in a peculiar situation because if China and Japan, things get heated there, supposedly U.S. has Japan's back, right? But U.S. is trade partners with China, and U.S. owes all this money to China. So the U.S. is in a tricky situation if that shit gets heated between Japan and China. U.S. is like, what do I do? It's gonna be, what, man. All this talk about this war and shit, I just hope they're careful, man. War's not fun. It's not fun. No one wins in war. The only winners are the people that make money off of it, like we talked about at the beginning of this show. The people that make the planes, the people that make the weaponry, the people that make the tanks, the supplies, even the ones that make the boots. The people that are making the boots for the soldiers, they're licking their chops hoping that another war starts. Man, can you imagine a contract these bootmakers can get if there's a new war, I have to give all new boots to the soldiers being deployed to wherever.
Listen, these guys need this. These guys, I'll tell you what, man. These guys are psychopaths. This terrorist group, it's a form of dementia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these people have been brainwashed to think that the way you do it is the way we do it.
Mm-hmm.
It just ain't gonna happen. I just can't believe this group is so barbaric. I mean, these guys are going to any length to show how barbaric they are.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've read the stories. I've seen the clips. I've seen the pictures. You know? Dude's walking down a Syrian market, and he's smoking a cigarette. All right? 17-year-old kid, you know? Gets caught smoking a cigarette. What do? They cut off his 2 fingers so he can't smoke again. ISIS. Dude's walking down the market. He's listening to American music on his MP3 player. ISIS finds out. What do? They cut his ears off. Dude's walking down the market in Syria. He's so hungry he hasn't eaten in 3 days. He sees a piece of orange on the ground that fell off the orange, shelf on the market stand. He decides, okay, no one's going to miss it. I'm going to take it. Syria's ISIS troops see him. They cut off his hand at the forearm. You know? Those are the undocumented ones. The ones that people don't read about every day. You know, they do hangings every Friday. Friday is like the holy day in Islam, the day of prayer. And every day in Syria, they hold lynchings, public hangings of people that have been accused of whatever, adultery, of whatnot, you know? Hangings, public stonings, whatnot. And this is the monster that was created.
Yes, it was created and it was well funded.
Yeah. Through back channels, you know, through back channels. Can't follow the money, you know. Money can't lead back to America.
Yeah.
Well, you know, don't get me wrong. You know, I feel for the people in France. Anyone that's an innocent victim of any terrorist attack, you know, that's not right. You know, it sucks it happened, but who are we really blaming here? You know, let's open our eyes, people. Who are we really blaming here? What's really happening? What was the motive behind these attacks? It wasn't just a group of radical Islamic fundamentalists. Read between the lines of what's going on here, people. We are being played. Anyways, in other news, D, did you hear about your boy, Charlie Sheen? When I heard what happened, or what Charlie Sheen disclosed, you know, my first initial thought, I was like, I'm not surprised. I mean, I don't mean to, you know, sound, you know, desensitized or you know, I'm not being mean or anything, but like, didn't you see that coming? Huh? Tell me you saw that coming.
What I want to know is, how did he get it?
He had random, unprotected sex with some hooker 4 years ago. And you know he's into the hookers. And from the stories I've already read, he paid these women, these hookers, these ladies, extra money for unprotected sex. Because that's what he liked. You know, he likes, you know, I don't like no rubber, I don't like no Jimmy hat, I don't like any of that. I want to do it raw. You know? So he paid these hookers extra to do it raw. That's just like playing Russian roulette with your life. And you know what? He got caught. He got caught. Rightfully, I mean, I don't want to say rightfully so, but like if you play with fire like that, you're bound to get burned.
Whoa.
You know? And this dude was out of control.
Out of control.
I mean, there were like, again, these are just stories I read. He would lock himself up in like a hotel room for a week. For a week. He had a brick of cocaine. The cabinet was stashed with booze, and he would have 10 hookers for the week. And the price tag would be, you know, an easy 500,000, a million. And that's, he just sneezes that in a week, you know, in the money he made. You know? And he'd go on these binges, these alcohol binges, these cocaine binges, these sex binges, non-stop. And it's just like when you lead that type of lifestyle, it's just a matter of time. That's why I get back to my original point. I just felt like it was a matter of time before Charlie Sheen would come forward like this. Hey, you know? So I wasn't surprised when I heard it. You know? And this kid, he's been married 3 times, maybe 4 times. He's got kids. He had his first kid like in the 80s with his high school sweetheart, right? And this daughter, his daughter's like a grown woman and she has a kid. So Charlie Sheen is like a grandfather. He has like 5, 6 kids from like 3 different marriages and whatnot. And some of these kids are like grown adults and they have kids. You know? Imagine, you know, you see your dad, your father or your grandfather on TV saying, yeah, you know, I got HIV and this is, I really don't know how I got. Don't you think like, damn, I need to get tested? Right?
Wow.
You know? I'll be like, you know, if that was like someone close to me that just disclosed that, my next stop's going to be at the doctor's office. I got to get tested, doc.
Wow.
And now he's going to be facing Charlie Sheen because of this disclosure. He disclosed it because he said he was being exploited by people that he trusted with this. You know, he said that like every woman that he was with, he disclosed it to her. Hey, I got HIV, right? And then these women in turn started blackmailing him. Like, if you don't give me money, I'm going to tell the media, right? So for 4 years, Charlie Sheen his head was in a vice, getting squeezed, you know, by all these people. So the main reason he disclosed it was to get out of this financial vice. But now, experts are saying he's facing a ton shit of lawsuits and plus criminal charges. Because, like, if you don't disclose you have HIV, you have the HIV to someone, and they get it after the fact, that's a criminal offense. So, one woman has already come out and said, I was with him for 4 years. He never once told me he has AIDS. And we had sex, unprotected sex, multiple times. So that's lawsuit number 1. And that's a criminal charge number 1. So I don't think old Charlie Sheen thought this through before he came forward. He was just thinking, I got to get these people off my bankroll, right? But now he's got a whole new slew of problems, man. Old Charlie boy, he'll be locked up for a little bit. I can see that.
Wow.
You know?
So he was at the point of no return.
I think he saw no way out, you know? I'm stuck here. You damned if I do, if I damned if I don't. You know? I think his thinking was like, you know, it's better if I just come forward. You know? Because I think there might be more to it than just money. He's got money. You know? You can get squeezed for money, but when you're someone like Charlie Sheen who's making money hand over fist, you can keep getting squeezed. I think there was more to it. You know? I think there was more to it. I think we'll find out, you know, soon enough. There's more to it. So stay tuned. Old Charlie boy.
Wow.
Doing the dirty.
Doing the dirty.
Could you imagine? Like say like one of your former lovers. You know? Like say she doesn't even tell you, right? But you just happen to reading the Post and you read the obituary and you're like, that name sounds familiar. What? And she died of what? I'd be freaked out, yo. I'd be freaked out if that happened.
Wow.
Old Charlie boy, man.
Yeah, Charlie, he kind of disappointed me, man. I know, but now I see why he was going through what he was going through. He knew he had it.
Yeah, he had it for 4 years and he kept it a secret.
Yeah. And it's been about 4 years since he's was acting kind of strange there one time.
Yeah. Oh well, I think he's going to gather up whatever resources he has left, and he's going to flee the country because the lawsuits are coming, jail time's coming. He's going to flee the country, find some little bungalow in Mexico, and start banging Mexican chicks. You know, he's going to go somewhere where no one knows him, and he's got a little stash left. And he's going to slowly wither away in some foreign country that has no extradition rules. Venezuela comes to mind.
Well, I'm sure Charlie has a good lawyer, and he's ready for. He's playing very well.
I hope so. Sure. I hope it wasn't knee-jerk. I hope it wasn't a knee-jerk reaction. You know.
Yeah.
You know, I hope he does have a great lawyer, because yeah, man, lawsuits and criminal charges. That's his future.
Incredible.
Favorite Charlie Sheen movie? You have one?
No.
What? You haven't seen? What about Platoon? Platoon.
Oh.
Remember that? That's a great movie.
I do remember.
And you have Wall Street.
Wall Street. I was going to say Wall Street.
And then you had Major League, one of the best baseball movies ever made. Major League. And then you had Hot Shots. You know. He was in a bunch of. He was in Red Dawn. Remember that? Wolverines.
Yeah, that's another one.
You know? I think I'd have to go with Platoon and then Major League.
I think Platoon was one of his.
Yeah. It was more the... He was young then. It was more the movie than it was Charlie Sheen that I liked it. You know? I liked it more for the movie. You know? But, you know, you can only hope for the best for Charlie Sheen. Hope everything works out for him, because you know you got to feel for the guy. You got to feel for the guy. You know, even though he did all this stuff. You know, you don't want to. That's like you don't ever want to wish the heavy on anyone. You know, cancer, heavy, whatever. You know.
Well, Charlie comes from a privileged family, and I'm sure he was spoiled.
Yeah.
Rotten.
Yeah.
Rotten.
Dude,
totally
he grew up rich in Hollywood. If that's not privileged, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Hey, trivia question for you, D. What's Charlie Sheen's real name?
That's a good one. I'll look it up.
No. Don't Google it. Just take a wild guess.
Don't Google it?
Don't Google it.
Okay.
His brother is Emilio Estevez. That's a clue.
Don't know.
What is the Latin name for Charlie?
Latin name. I'm not Latin, so Charlie.
Charlie Sheen's real name, or his birth name, is Carlos Estevez.
Ooh.
Martin Sheen and his wife, they're originally like their roots are from Europe, Spain, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Charlie Sheen was originally born Carlos Estevez, Emilio Estevez. He didn't change his name. Charlie changed his name from Carlos to Charlie. Emilio kept his name, his surname, you know. So Carlos Estevez. I just read that. I read that in the paper. I was like, oh Carlos Estevez.
Man,
Okay.
I didn't know that. I didn't realize that.
Oh, also Young Guns, right? Charlie Sheen, Emilio Estevez, Billy the Kid, Young Guns. And Young Guns Part 2, which I never saw.
I remember. I saw it, but I don't remember anything about it.
Old Billy the Kid, regulators. Let's mount up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a lot going on. I wouldn't be surprised, if we wake up one morning and, the losing Patriots or somebody has stole all the footballs and finding the footballs.
Man, why all the Patriot haters, man? Because I think people just are sick and tired of Patriots winning all the time. I think
Hey man, when the last time have they lost? Tell me when the last time they lost.
Regular season last year.
When?
Like December somewhere. I don't know.
I don't think it was.
You'd have to Google that, man.
I don't think they've lost since November of last year.
I believe that. I believe it. I think that's why people are hating on the Patriots, because they just keep winning.
Well, I ain't hating. I respect them. I know they're going undefeated.
Yeah, they got a real good chance. Now that they beat the Giants. Giants were the biggest test. The rest of the games are easy. They play Buffalo Monday night.
Yeah. It's the way they win. Is what I look at. I'm like, wait a minute.
Did you see the Redskins game with the Patriots?
Yeah.
Dude, the Patriots were just toying with them. They were toying with them. That was like a scrimmage for the Patriots. They're like, well, we haven't tried this play. Let's try it right now. It'd be good practice.
You mean with the Redskins?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a scrimmage.
They were like, let's try this onside kick. We haven't tried it all year.
Yeah,
they had no respect for the Redskins.
None at all.
And they were holding back too. They could have beat the Redskins like 63-7, but they were like,
yes,
they were just toying with them.
Yeah, and the Redskins were like all happy after the game, like, yeah,
Hey, we kept it close.
we played a good game, they didn't beat us too bad.
No.
Man, the guys had their third string in, man.
I know.
What are you talking about?
Belichick was trying out blocking schemes on the O-line with tight ends. What does that tell you? What does that tell you?
Yeah.
And they're like, Kirk Cousins, we kept it close. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
They were just toying with you, man.
They were just toying with you.
It's like a big old cat who sees a mouse, just, beats it around until it's ready to eat it,
These guys, man, they haven't lost since last year,
since the KC game. Don't say the KC game where they got that Monday night game in like week 3 or week 4, where everyone said the Patriots are over, they're done, they're old and everything. And then Belichick is like, we're just moving on to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
It could have been the Chiefs in September. Did you find the answer?
It won't come up.
I'm putting my money on Chiefs in September last year. Because at that point they became like 2-3, and everyone wrote them off. Or they couldn't be 2-3; it'd be something else, like a 4-game something.
Wait a minute. All I know is Tom Brady. He's playing like mad.
Oh yeah, he wants to stuff it down Goodell's throat for that, Inflategate debacle. He wants to stuff it down Goodell's throat. They're going to go, because, can you just imagine the next Super Bowl Patriots are in it and Goodell has to hand them another Super Bowl trophy? And Tom Brady's just going to be like, I told you. I told you.
Okay, they lost December 28th.
Okay. Okay, so like one of their last games of the season where they had everything, wrapped up and Brady and the starters were chilling.
Yeah, it was wrapped up.
Yeah. Yeah, because they had home field. They had home field advantage last year, so they were chilling.
Yeah, it was against Buffalo at home.
Yeah, yeah.
They didn't need the game though.
They didn't.
I really think Tom Brady didn't even play.
He was in street clothes.
Yeah.
He was in street clothes. He had another.
He was. He was his partner chilling, watching the game.
If you look at the rest of the Patriots' schedule, they're going to go undefeated. And Brady wants it. He wants this bad. And he wants to go all the way to the Super Bowl and win it.
Well, I think that, I think you're right.
Yeah, because they got like marginal average teams the rest of the schedule.
Yes.
They play Buffalo, they play Miami, they play,
They got Buffalo. Look, Sam, oh my God. Wait a minute. No, that's, man. This doesn't look good, man, for the NFL.
I know they play the Broncos, right? They got Broncos on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like they always have Brady and Manning play every year, no matter what.
Yeah, they're on here.
Hey, a question for you: Peyton Manning playing in that game? Yeah, just an opinion. You think Peyton Manning will play?
Yeah,
I think if
he probably shouldn't have played this year.
Look, I tell you what, D. I would not be surprised if even tomorrow morning comes, right? Tomorrow morning comes, press conference, 10 a.m., Peyton Manning. It's been fun, it's been great, but I'm retiring. That's how serious I think it is. He's close to retiring. Tomorrow morning, it could happen. Yeah.
Ravens going undefeated.
Yeah. Yeah. Not only undefeated, they're going to win it all this time.
Unless they take out their players in their last game in Miami.
No. Remember last time when they were 16-0? They had nothing to play for when they were 13-0. But they played the last three. All the starters, they played the last 3 games to make sure they went undefeated.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. And Brady wants this. Belichick wants this. This is their legacy. Don't forget, Belichick is into legacies.
Yeah,
he's got a boat. He's got a boat that's named 5 Rings. You don't think he wants another boat that's going to say 18-0? 19-0. You know?
Yeah, he does.
That's his legacy. And he will go down, him and Brady, the greatest of all time. Undefeated season was at 5 Super Bowl victories. Who's going to top that? Yeah, they want it. They want it. They really want it. Hey, real quick. I got to wrap this up. I'm starting to lose my voice for a little bit. Who's your top 4 in college football? Who you got going in the playoffs?
I like Alabama.
Uh-huh.
I also like Baylor.
They lost. They lost to Oklahoma.
Yeah, they did. I like Oklahoma too. I like Oklahoma.
Yeah, I know, but Baylor's not Alabama in the sense that they're not the brand name school. And when you're a school like Baylor, you have to fight a little bit harder to get into the top 4. And if you have to go perfect, pretty much. If you're Baylor, if you're TCU, if you're Iowa, if you're Oklahoma State, if you're not a brand name school like a Notre Dame or Alabama or Ohio State, you have to be pretty much perfect to get a top 4 spot. And Baylor losing to Oklahoma, they're like number 11, number 12 right now. They got no chance to make the top 4. Even if they win out, rest of the 3 games that they have, even if they win out, Baylor's not going to get in there.
I like Ohio State too.
I hope they lose Saturday. They play Michigan State.
They play Michigan State.
I hope they lose. I don't want Ohio State in there. I don't want Alabama in there. I don't want Notre Dame in there. I don't want Clemson in there.
Yeah, I don't either.
Notre Dame's undeserving. Agree with me on that. Notre Dame's undeserving.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you. Alabama, you lost at home to Ole Miss. You know?
Hey, Ole Miss not bad.
Oh, come on. They're not even ranked anymore. They lost to my Florida Gators, and then they lost to LSU, and then they lost to Mississippi State and Arkansas. They're done. They're done. You know?
Don't sleep on them, man.
I mean, look, the only reason I want Alabama in there is so when the playoff times come, a team like Iowa gets in by chance, or even Notre Dame if they're in there, they just go in and crush Alabama like Ohio State did last year, and I just want to see Nick Saban's head explode when it happens. I love to see angry Nick Saban on TV.
Yeah, it's funny.
Clemson is going to make it just because they're going to win out the rest of their schedule. They're going to go undefeated. Clemson's going to make it. Alabama's they solidified it with their victory over LSU, and I think Notre Dame's going to slip just because of their weak schedule, and someone else like an Oklahoma State or an Iowa will sneak in, and Ohio State, even if they lose one to Michigan or Michigan State, they'll still get in there just because brand name. You know, they're not going to put an Oklahoma State above Ohio State in there. They're not. Even if Oklahoma State goes undefeated. Oklahoma, maybe. Oklahoma's a brand name. You know?
I want to see Ohio State and Clemson.
In the championship?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so boring. So boring.
How do you figure? Clemson? Boring? No way.
Clemson's not that good, man. Who have they beaten? Notre Dame? Florida State? Syracuse?
They beat Georgia.
Who's Georgia? Alabama beat Georgia. Florida beat Georgia. Georgia is like a 3-loss team right now. Georgia's not that good. Their coaches might get fired. Clemson hasn't beaten anybody. They beat a weak Notre Dame team, and they beat a weak Florida State team. Those are their 2 big victories. Georgia doesn't count.
They didn't just beat Notre Dame. They rolled over them.
What does that tell you about Notre Dame? Notre Dame's not that good.
Why are they ranked so high?
Brand name. They barely beat Temple.
Give me a break.
I don't think Notre Dame deserves it. I don't think Clemson deserves it.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Clemson has a machine.
Look, if they go up against a real team from the SEC, if they go up against Alabama, Alabama's going to whoop them. You know it. Even if Clemson goes against Ohio State in the championship, Ohio State's going to whoop them because those are real teams. ACC is not that great of a conference. Look what happened last year to Florida State when they played a real team. Oregon whipped them. You know? So Clemson is like that bubble that's going to burst at any second. Any second is going to burst. That's Clemson.
Okay, we got next. Okay, look, man, listen. This schedule hasn't been that bad. I mean, hey, listen, Georgia Tech.
Don't it? Who's Georgia Tech? Who have they been? Georgia Tech? Dude, listen, look at Clemson's schedule from September to now and the remaining games. They haven't beaten anybody. Notre Dame. Notre Dame. Who's Notre Dame? Notre Dame's no one. Florida State.
They beat one of the top 10 teams in the nation.
Notre Dame's nothing. Doesn't mean anything. Clemson is a fake, a fraud. And if they get into the playoffs, first round exit, bad. First round, really bad exit.
Listen, man, they're going to score points. They don't just win.
They're going to get exposed. If they play in Alabama or even in Oklahoma, they're going to get exposed.
I see them running right over them. I see them rolling right over any of those teams.
Say Clemson, Alabama. Who do you got?
I got Clemson.
Oh, D, you're reaching, dude. You're reaching. Clemson over Alabama? And that defense? Maybe you're an ACC guy, right?
You talking about Alabama's defense?
Alabama's defense is legit.
You know those guys? You know how many points they've given up this year? You know how many games they've almost lost because of this defense?
It's their offense, which failed to produce. Offense turning it over, so the defense had to be on the field. They got no offense. All right.
I don't know, man.
Listen, this weekend.
Alabama don't play nobody either,
True. But I think that's the argument for anyone. You have to pick 4, right? You have to pick 4. And you have to pick the best out of whatever you have. And there's arguments for every team. Ohio State, they're barely winning, right? But they're winning. Alabama, they're not beating anybody and they lost one. Clemson, they haven't really beaten anybody. Notre Dame, they haven't, but, you have to pick 4 teams, and those are the best 4 right now. But
who has Alabama beat?
Alabama, they beat LSU when it was number 2 LSU and number 4 Alabama 2 weeks ago.
They
LSU, LSU got exposed in that game because since then LSU has lost 2 in a row, so they got exposed as being a fraud, But right back then, that was one of their quality wins, and they beat.
That was just last week. They just beat them a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks ago when LSU was undefeated and ranked number 2.
Who else have they beat? Who else?
Texas A&M.
Oh my God, Texas A&M?
Yeah.
They're not ranked.
No, but they're a tough team to beat. Look at their schedule. I mean, they had cupcakes, but they've since their Ole Miss loss, they had a couple of solid victories. Now listen, I'm not an Alabama.
Ole Miss scored 43 points on them, by the way.
Yeah, in Alabama, in Tuscaloosa.
By the way.
I agree with you. I mean, I'm not an Alabama fan, but you're asking me where are their wins? These are the wins they had. Number 2 LSU and they beat a very tough Texas A&M team.
The only team I think they've beaten that I thought was really good is Georgia.
Georgia's not that good, man. And the coach is going to be fired, certainly, after the end of the season. They're not that good. Georgia, Clemson beat Georgia. Alabama beat Georgia. My Florida Gators beat Georgia. Georgia's not good. They're not good. They're like borderline better than Tennessee right now. And that's not saying a lot. Who do you got this weekend? Michigan State at Ohio State. This is the big showdown.
I like Michigan State if they pay attention to the details, not let, things. Yeah, I like Michigan State.
Great pick. Great pick. As Lee Corso would say on game day, great pick, my friend. I like Michigan State too, and I hope the Michigan State goes into the horseshoe and just whoops up on the Buckeyes, exposes them as frauds.
Yeah, I'm not a Buckeye lover.
Nah. I can't stand Ohio State. Can't stand Urban Meyer, that turncoat.
Can't stand.
Yeah. All right. My man D, I'm at my breaking point right now.
Yeah, man.
Let's wrap it up.
Like I say, we'll continue part 2 of
our geopolitics.
The world versus ISIS.
The world versus ISIS. ISIS is a storefront for the CIA. Remember that, people. It's just a storefront for the CIA. This is the Quazemoto Show. This is your boy Quaz. I got my boy D riding shotgun. Thank you for tuning in. Email us, quazemotoshow@gmail.com. And we'll see you next time. D, peace.
Peace, Quaz. No, next week.
Next week, my man.
Next week, man.
Peace.